Okay, today we'll be starting with our exercise, and once the exercise is done, we'll be doing the sharings, and only later we'll be taking the questions. Okay, so that those who wish to leave early can leave as well. Okay. Okay. Today we'll be doing the mother exercise. Know that it may bring very uncomfortable emotions inside you, and that is all okay. Be very aware of your emotions, your feelings inside your body. And it is okay to feel anything. It is okay to feel the anger for your mother. It is okay to feel the irritation. It is okay to create a distance between you and her. And it is okay to lean on her as well. Whatever you experience is your truth. Acceptance will lead to healing, whereas if you try to deny it or if you try to suppress it in any way, it will create devastating effects. So just be true to yourself, just be honest. Remember that just because you are their child, you are bound to get that. And since you come through them, the only thread which connects you with them is love. But yes, certain experiences may change how you receive them in your inner world. And that is what we are seeing. How do we receive our mother in our inner lands? And it may take time. Like if I, for example, if I talk about my personal journey, it took me almost 8 to 9 months of conscious mother work, doing this exercise every single day to finally receive my mother as my mother. Like they will be experiencing it that you might feel a distance is comfortable. To build that distance, to bridge that distance, and to become a receiver, a child, rather than taking care of her or being feeling responsible for her in any way, seeing her incapable in any way, that is very easy for us. But when we see her ourselves as a child and see her as a capable person, despite what she has gone through in her personal life, this is one of the most challenging. Or dheere dheere, what happens is that you start feeling a connection with her. You're willing to lie down on her, just like a child lies down on the mother's lap. You're willing to receive her fully. And that is a very different feeling because then you feel full. Then no amount of love you get from other relationships or no amount of hatred or ignorance you get from different relationships is going to affect your inner landscape because the primary source of love is full. It's like, you are a well, a deep well, and the more your mother's love pour into it, that will only make it full. फिर आप चाहे addictions के through उस love को fill करने की कोशिश करो, or else you try, having multiple relationships or having multiple partners, nothing is going to fill that void. Sonal, you are on mute.
The clinginess is also from the mother's wound that you are not.
Yes. Yes, the clinginess also comes because it is a part of interrupted outreach. What happens is when, as a child, you were not held a lot by your mother. It may be because she is having some kind of physical issues. Maybe she is tied up, or maybe she doesn't have that much of time and space because of different responsibilities. The fact of, the feeling of being held on to is not met. And therefore, this clinginess comes in adult relationship as well when we are very picky and when we pick fights easily. ये नहीं किया मेरे लिए, that means you don't love me. If you would have loved me, you would have taken care of this and this. Or how could you don't remember my favorite color? Even the smallest things, there shows in this when we do not receive our mother. Diksha, do you have a question here?
Yes, just
We
one
will take
short.
the questions after the exercise because many of the participants have to leave early. So we'll be taking the questions after the exercise. Okay?
Yeah, I thought that, but I thought maybe it's related to because you use the word again receiving. So just one quick thing, and you choose if you want to answer it.
Okay.
If it's like if it's gonna affect or not. So when you say receive, and then when we talk about receiving, everything comes, right? Good, bad, toxicity, trauma patterns, and unhealthy patterns. So when you say receiving in inner landscape, uh, do we mean like taking everything? Like,
No,
because
receiving doesn't mean that. Okay, receiving doesn't mean toxicity or unhealthy patterns. These are coping mechanisms. These are not receiving. These we develop on our own to protect ourselves from the pain. Okay, receiving is not toxicity. Receiving is pure unconditional love, abundance, health, happiness, joy, well-being, money, peace, all the things which you truly desire in a life,
no, but
and all
like
the
no, but like we receive so many other things also from
no,
our
we
mother.
don't receive that. We unconsciously take it. We don't receive it.
No, I mean in day-to-day life, not about the past.
Let's discuss it post the exercise.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Everyone, just take a back rest and sit straight. Okay. Your back needs to be straight. Raminder, if you're hearing me, keep your back straight and sit on your chair or on the bed. If you're just take a back rest so that you feel supported. If you're sitting on a chair, ensure that there is a space between your knees and behind your knees. Yes, Jasmine, you can lie down, but I would suggest sitting because sometimes we may feel sleepy. That's the only thing. During regression, I ask people to lie down, but during trance, I don't do that. But it's your choice. Ensure that there is a space between your knees and behind your knees as well. If you are sitting on a bed, cross-legged, ensure that there is a space between the folding. Maybe your lap has wider space, okay? Because that ensures that your pelvic floor is open. Keep your mouth slightly open during the exercise. I'll keep reminding you. You have to inhale from your nose and exhale from your mouth. The opening of mouth is necessary so that a tube is created and you can release it somatically, okay? So let's begin the exercise. Your hands would be on your thighs, palm facing upwards. Inhale and exhale. Close your eyes. You can remove your specs. That will help you. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhalation and hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. Inhale. Now hold the inhalation for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. Now, the next time we are breathing, we are holding the inhalation as well as the exhalation. Keep your eyes closed and just follow the instructions. Inhale and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And exhale. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And exhale. And as you exhale, hold this place. Hold this position for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, as you inhale, bring your attention to your breath. Feel how your breath travels from your nostrils towards your forehead, to the back of your head, towards your neck and your throat. Feel your breath in your entire face. Inhale and exhale. Gently inhale and exhale. And as you keep on inhaling, bring your awareness to your shoulders. Feel the sensations in your shoulders. It is okay to yawn, to release. And keep on inhaling and exhaling. Bring your awareness to your arms, elbows, forearms, wrist, palm, fingers, thumb, and the knees. Become aware of every single part of your body. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. As you inhale and exhale, become aware of your chest. Take a deep inhalation and let your lungs expand. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. And as you exhale, feel the contraction in your lungs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice the sensations in your chest. And as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, bring your awareness to your upper abdomen. Feel your breath in your upper abdomen. Become aware of the sensations here. Keep on inhaling and exhaling as your breath travels to your lower abdomen. Inhale and exhale. Spend some time here. Become aware of the sensations as your breath stays for a while in lower abdomen. Take 3 deep breaths in, deep belly breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now become aware of your upper back. Feel the vibrations, the sensations here. Keep on inhaling and exhale. As you inhale and exhale, your breath travels to your middle back. Become aware of the sensations in your middle back. Inhale and exhale. And slowly your breath travels to your lower back. Breathe in your lower back. Become aware of the sensations here. Keep on inhaling and exhaling as your breath travels to the base of your spine. your buttocks, your genitals. Breathe into your genitals. Inhale and exhale. Your breath travels further downwards to your thighs. Inhale and exhale. Feel the vibrations and sensations in the back of your thighs. Inhale, exhale. See your breath traveling to your knees, your shin bone, and your calf muscles. Inhale and exhale. Keep on inhaling and exhaling as your breath travels further downwards towards your ankles, the sole of your feet, and your toes. And as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, visualize yourself on a beach. And you are at a sea beach. Feel the sand beneath your feet. And as you walk towards the sea, towards the ocean, the sand gets wetter and wetter. And as you walk towards it, you see the impressions of your feet on that wet sand. See the breeze blowing gently. Feel the breeze, the cool breeze on your face. The salt in the air. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. And as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, you reach a part of the beach where the water touches your feet. Feel the wetness of the sand as the waves crashes on the shore, wetting your feet and then receding back towards the ocean. And as you inhale, the waves comes towards you again, bringing new life and positivity. And as you exhale, the waves takes back all your worries with it. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. And notice how you feel in your body here. You're facing the big wide ocean. See the vastness of this ocean, the sea. See the place, the horizon where the sea meets the sky. And see yourself in this landscape, a tiny figure. Embrace your smallness here and embrace the vastness too that lies in front of you. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. And slowly turn towards your left. The waves are still washing your feet, but now you are turning towards the left. And as you turn towards the left, you see a figure at a distance. And you stare at that figure. And slowly, that figure takes steps towards you. It is still at distance, but now you can see clearly that it's your mom. See, how does it feel in your body when you see your mom at a distance? What is she wearing? What is the color of her dress? Is she recognizing you? Is she smiling at you? Or is she looking elsewhere? Her attention is elsewhere. Just keep on breathing and look at her. She is at quite a long distance from you. Maybe she needs to take 20 steps to reach you. See her at a distance of 20 steps. How does it feel in your body? What sensations come up? Just become aware of it. And now, as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, she takes 5 steps closer to you. Now she's 15 steps distance. How does it feel in your body now? What are the sensations in your body now as you see her taking 5 steps towards you? Just become aware of it. There is no right and wrong here. These are just plain feelings. And now, as she is 15 steps away from you, she takes 5 more steps. And she is at a distance of 10 steps from you. She is slowly bridging the distance. She's slowly getting closer to you. What do you want to do here? How does it feel when she's coming close? Become aware of your body. Is it getting tight or is it expanding? Do you want her to come near you or do you want her to be there and maintain some distance? How do you feel like? Do you feel like supporting her in some way? Or are you okay to take her support? And no answer is right or wrong. Just become aware of how does it feel when she's 10 steps away. And now she takes 7 steps towards you. Now she's just 3 steps away from you. What changes it brings in your inner landscape? How does it make you feel now? And now, with 3 deep breaths, she will be extremely close to you. Inhale and exhale. She is now 2 steps away. How does it make you feel? Do you want to step back? Or do you want to stay there? Do you feel frozen or do you feel yourself opening up? Do you feel constricted in any way? Inhale, and she is just a step away from you. You can feel her. You can feel her presence. She is too close. You can smell her fragrance. And now, with last one inhalation and exhalation, she is touching you. You can smell her breath. Her body is touching you. How does it feel now? How do you feel when she's so close to you? Just become aware as she is extremely close to you. You can literally touch her and she can hold you. You can, her face is on your face. How does it feel? Does it feel suffocating or does it feel reassuring? How do you connect with her? Do you feel any kind of emotional connection or you are numbed out? Just become aware of these sensations, of these feelings. Stay here for 3 seconds. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And now she takes 3 steps back. And as she takes 3 steps back, notice what happens in your body. Do you feel relaxed or do you want her to come near you? Are you comfortable with this distance? What is happening inside you now? It may be possible that you don't feel anything, and it is okay too. And now she takes 7 steps back. Now she is at a distance of 10 steps. How does it feel in your body now when she has taken these steps back? And now inhale and exhale, and she takes further 20 steps back. Now she is at a very distant place. How does it feel in your body now? And now let's zoom in as she is 30 steps away from you. See her as a human. What was her life journey? You may not be aware of what she had gone through. You may not be consciously aware of it, but you have come to her. So trust your feelings, trust your instincts, and see her as an infant in her mother's arms. And notice, was she taken care of? Was her mother really available for her? Was her mother connecting to her? You will have a feeling, a sense. You may not be cognitively aware of the happenings, but just see how did that infant felt in her mother's arms. Was her mother mirroring her every emotion? Or was her mother occupied in some other task? Was her mother emotionally being supported by her partner and her family? Or was she left on her own, managing everything all alone? And as an infant, how your mother felt? What did she do to get her mother's love? Was she an ever adjusting, accommodating, quiet child? Or was she someone who would cry and take attention? See her growing up years from an infant to a toddler. How was she received by her mother? Just trust your feelings, trust your sensations. You may get a visual or imagery, or you may just know that it is what it is. See her growing from toddler to a child who is running, Was she allowed to be a child? Or was she supposed to take care of other members of the family, putting her siblings above her? How was life for her? Was she given equal opportunities as her siblings? Or was she expected to behave in a certain way? Was she made responsible for the other children in the family? Or was she free to live her life the way she wants? Just see her as a 10-year-old. How was she feeling in her own house? How was she treated in her parents' house? What was happening inside her? And what was happening inside her parents' house? Just get a sense of it. Trust your feelings, trust your instincts. And now see her as pre-teens. See how she was treated when she was growing up. See her approaching her menstrual cycle, her periods, her puberty. Was any discrimination at that time? Was she treated with respect? At this point of time, at this crucial phase of her life? Or was she treated with disrespect? Was she included in all the aspects and decisions of her family? Was her view taken care of? Or was she just neglected and ignored? How was life for her as she grew up and entered into her adulthood? How was her life when she was a bride? See it. Was she happy in the marriage? Or were there different kinds of adjustments expected out of her? Was her partner supporting her? Were her in-laws taking care of her, treating her with dignity and respect? See her as a bride, as a daughter-in-law, as a wife. And as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, see her becoming a mother. Did she lose any of her children? Did she miscarried or aborted? And if yes, was someone there for her to support her emotionally and physically? And if no, how was her journey as she was conceiving her first child? See her conceiving you. How was her journey as a pregnant woman? Were her needs taken care of? Was she given enough rest? Or was she supposed to do all the things which a woman is supposed to? Does her partner bonded with her emotionally during this stage? And see her delivering her children, delivering you as well. How was this delivery? Was her partner, was her parents supporting her? Or was she shunned away or judged or shamed for not fulfilling the expectations of the family? See her holding you in her arms. How was this journey when you were just an infant? Was she given enough rest? Was she supported? Was she taken care of? Was someone there for her to help her? Or was she managing it all alone? See you growing up and how was her emotional availability for you? See her with all the responsibilities which she was carrying. And now see her for the woman she was, the woman she is. She might have different dreams, she might have different expectations from her life. Was she able to fulfill all of it? Or did she have to compromise or adjust? Were her wishes given enough space in the family? Or was she treated as an object? And see her, and now see her as your mother too. And now, when you see her entire journey, feel all the complaints in your body. Feel all the things, all the grievances which you had for your mother. Let it rise. Let it rise in your body. Find the place in your body where you feel those hurts, those dejections, the moments when she could not understand you, the moments where she could not be there for you. Let all of it come. Let all these moments flash back in your eyes. All the moments where she disappointed you, where you thought that she had failed as a mother. And it is okay. And now, when you see her journey, tell her, Mom, I see you. I see you truly for who you are. And now I realize that you gave me whatever you could. And even though I had so many complaints with you, I understand that you could not give me what you could not receive from your family. See all your complaints and see if she received all of it from her mother, from her family. And if not, see her that she did the best in her circumstance. Tell her, Mom, I truly understand. And even if you do not understand her fully, maybe a part of you still resents her, but a part of you also sees her journey. And let this part have the voice and tell her that, Mom, I truly see you. I understand you for the choices you made and for the choices you could not make. I see how you try in your limited capacity, in your limited understanding, to make it easy for me. Even if you just ensured that I had my meals on time, I wear clean clothes, I go to my school, and complete my homework. And maybe you could only do this. You could never connect with me emotionally, but now I understand because you never know this language. You were never received emotionally well by your own parents. Now I see why you couldn't understand me. Because what I experienced was something very different when you were growing up. The only thing which you wanted for me was to be safe. And maybe for you, love was just taking care of me, ensuring that I eat on time, maybe making my favorite food. Maybe for you, love was just ensuring that I get good clothes, clean clothes. And I see all the ways you loved me. Maybe your love was by protecting me, by stopping me from being with certain people or putting restrictions on me to protect me. And I see it all. And today, Mom, I take you as you are. I take your love as it is, without changing any of it. I just accept your love, irrespective of the form of love it was. I take the love behind your scoldings because you were scared and you were fearful of me. And I see the love there. I see the love behind all your restrictions because you only wanted that I don't face those rejections and the judgments which you feared for. So I take all your love in you without changing anything about it. I take your love and I will do my bit to change it the way I want, to change my life the way I want. Because at the end, you only wanted the best for me. And maybe your definition of what is best for me and what is my definition may not match, but that's okay. I take your love, and with this love, I'll make something great out of my life. I will not relive your pain more. I will not go through what you have gone through because in that way I will be disrespecting. I will be dishonoring your journey. I'll take your love and make the life which I wish to live. I'll fulfill all my dreams. I will take the ways which I want to, even if those ways doesn't resonate with you. But I still choose to do that because I know that you only wanted me to be happy and safe. I take that emotion behind it. And now, as you have this conversation with your mom, see your mom saying something to you. What is she saying? And hear it in her voice. Dear child, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, the way you are handling your life. And yes, there are moments when I do not resonate with you, when I do not agree with you, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. And I may not accept your choices. I may have my own viewpoints because of the conditioning I have, because of the understanding I have, because of the atmosphere I have born in. But that doesn't change my love for you. I love you and will always love you. And you have all my love, my blessings, and my support to take the life the way you want to live, to fulfill all your dreams, to find your happiness and your own purpose. You don't have to look back at me. I will always be there for you. You just go ahead in your life. And as you have this conversation with your mother, you seek her love and blessings. Turn around, your back facing her, and you move ahead towards the life you choose. And she is there for you, supporting you from behind, cheering you up, encouraging you, and sending her unconditional love. Keep on moving towards the life you choose. And how does your life look like? Just become aware of it. How does this dream life look like to you? And knowing that you are supported by your mom, by the person who gave you birth, and you are loved just by the mere fact that you are her child and she is your mother. You don't have to do anything or perform anything to receive her love. And she may have behaved differently with you in the past, but it has got nothing to do with you. She might be struggling with her own insecurities, of course, because she is a human too. And now, as you see her as a human and as your mother, embrace her fully with all her flaws and see how much loved you are. And take this love in and step towards your dream life. Your dream life is awaiting you. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And with 3 deep inhalation, come back to the here and now. Become aware of your surroundings, of your sittings, the surface on which you're sitting, the fold of the fabric on your body. Just feel it. Just become aware of it. Slightly move your palms, your fingers, your hands, and your legs. Become aware of the surroundings, the lighting in your room, the color of the walls. And keep your palms on your eyes, cupping them, and blink your eyes for some time. And gradually and very slowly open up. Open your eyes and come back to the here and now. And now start writing about this entire experience. Do not stop while writing. I will be putting a timer of 10 minutes. And you have to write without stopping. Begin with how were you at the beach? What happened when you saw your mother at the distance? What happened as the distance grew lesser and lesser? What happened when the distance increased again? What all you saw as you saw her from an infant to the journey of being your mother. What was the conversation like? Write everything down without stopping. Do not stop writing. Let it flow. When we write continuously without stopping our pen, our subconscious takes over. Write about what was the thing that struck out in this entire process. must continuously write. Five more minutes to go. Three more minutes. Last 1 minute. Stop. Time is up. Stop writing. You may continue writing after some time if you feel like. And now I open up the floors for sharing or for questions, if you have any. Yes, Sonal.
I don't know. I think I dozed off a little. I don't remember or recall a lot of things in between the exercise. It
What was
is.
the last you remember?
I remember that. I remember when the beach, when she came and going through her journey, when I was conceived, when I was came into the life. और उसके बाद बड़े होने वाला दादा नहीं कि how she was. I saw her ups and downs and she tried to give her the best and she's still trying to give us the best. Somehow फिर भी there are loopholes और जो चीजें हैं जो हम अब face कर रहे हैं and then we are looking at the type of womb trauma and a mother wound trauma. But that person genuinely loved us or loves us and genuinely gives us this thing that give us that intention of having a good life or love or worry or whatever it is. And she has gone through some pattern and finding it very similar to mine, or I'm finding it very similar to the, I think, ladies that go through this. They give in their 100% capacity, but somehow to receive or to balance between everything, now they are not able to receive in 100% capacity from others.
Why do you think that happens?
I don't know. There is some cliche patterns.
Because receiving is easy when we have received our mother without any time. Receiving becomes easy. But what happens, especially in our society, which is ruled by patriarchy, women are supposed to give to prove that they are worthy of love. And in this process of giving, they are even made to realize that whatever minimum she is receiving, that is also her fortune.
Yes.
And this is why she keeps on giving and giving in order to prove that she is worthy of receiving. But in this process, she actually forgets her own self and she accepts that this is what the truth is.
It's a very hard system to break. कहते हैं ना बहुत बड़ा चक्कर
आपको सिस्टम से फाइट नहीं करना है या फिर आपको सिस्टम से ब्रेक नहीं करना है. You just have to receive her fully and then receiving will come naturally to you. Because all forms of receiving, so when I say receiving, it means joy, happiness, love, relationships, abundance, fulfilled life, health, all of it comes easily to you when you are able to receive from your mother. And whatever has happened in the past, because of some unfortunate circumstances or because of her inability to give you love fully, you can always change it. Because the truth is, time is non-linear. It's not past, present, and future. Past, present, and future, all of these coexist. And so when you heal that part, and you don't have to change your relationship with her in outer reality. But if you receive her in your inner landscape, you trust her fully in your inner landscape, you see her as a human, then the work is done. Then you will not fight anything to prove yourself to anyone. You will not fight for love.
The proving in love is not to her or from her, but
it is with other relationships.
Yeah.
Because we try to find that love in other relationships. Whatever we have not received from our parents, we try to find that in other relationships. So if we will find it from the source, we will not find it in other relationships. And when we are full, we will automatically receive it from all the relationships we are seeking or not. In fact, it won't even matter. For example, the most intimate relationships are with your spouse. And you would feel that if your needs were not met as a child, right? By needs, I mean emotional needs were not met as a child. I'm not saying that, you should be a spoiled brat, you're but if you were not, if you didn't feel content with your mother, you will never feel content in your relationship in your marriage or with your in-laws.
I didn't feel it that time, but I do feel it now. So that
Because at that time you were a child.
yeah.
So क्या होता है, if the mother says, इतना रो रही है ना इसीलिए मैं नहीं कर रही, so the child makes it about that because I was crying, it is my fault. And they start to change their behavior. They start these coping mechanisms. They will not cry. They will adjust. They will people please. They will do whatever their mother is saying to them so that they will get the approval. But it was not given unconditionally. And it wasn't given unconditionally. So you have to survive. You cannot survive without your parents, right? एक बच्चे के लिए तो उसके पेरेंट्स ही उसकी दुनिया होती है. So if the child is not getting love from them, the child will do anything and everything to get that love. फिर अगर मम्मी ने बोला कि behave well, बात मानो बड़ों की, तो I will do that in order to get that acceptance and love, and I will keep doing it, and for some time it will help. मुझे सब लोग बोलेंगे कि हाँ बहुत समझदार है, अच्छे से एडजस्ट कर लेती है, everything will happen. But when I enter into new relationships, into new intimate relationships, what will happen is all the things which I had not received as a child, it will start triggering at unconscious level. And sometimes even I won't even realize why I behave the way I do. कई बार खुद के बिहेवियर पे भी डाउट होगा कि यार ऐसा भी मैंने क्यों किया, इतना तो रिएक्ट करने की जरूरत ही नहीं.
तो अब at the present moment, I'm feeling okay and content with whatever she has done, because at this time, she is present and fully giving to me.
Yeah.
But that trigger and that holes are still there in the emotional
Yeah.
and somatic body.
Yeah. So we have to go back to those episodes because, like, we call them ISE, initial sensitizing event, when it happened for the first time, which is often the womb or in utero. And then we call all the repeated events as RE, which is known as reinforcing event, which just reinforces your belief that I'm not good. I have to do something to get some love. So we have to go back to those events.
Again and again, each event again and again.
Yes, sometimes each event again and again, or sometimes one event at a time, and we have recovered and released. Depends upon the intensity of the event. It's like, a glass breaking. Every time you go, you pick up a piece of it.
Okay.
And you will keep on picking up piece of it until it becomes full.
It is not a matter of one session or two sessions.
No, it will never happen in one or two sessions. And if someone says, so this idea behind this workshop was to make you realize that what healing holds for you. Okay? It will not happen in one session, two session, 10 sessions. It will take time. Like earlier, I used to work for 12 sessions. And then I saw that my client has significantly improved, but yet there are certain gaps which needs to be filled. And then I changed my modality to 15 sessions, but फिर भी कोई difference नहीं पड़ा. And now I'm sticking to 24 sessions. I work with a single client for 24 sessions, and by 24 sessions, the client witnesses a significant transformation in their life. And sometimes, if the trauma is very much, then we may require a number of more sessions. And sometimes it also happens that the client feels so much of value that they continue to work. Like, I worked on my traumas for more than 3.5 years. And it wasn't that I hadn't healed. I was healing with every session. But the space where I'm now and the energy with which I'm vibrating now has nothing to do with the kind of work. I mean, it is like multiple times. The reward is multiple times by the input which I have. Because I've not only healed my past, I have not only healed my relationship with my parents internally, I've also healed my relationship with my ancestors.
Okay.
And this effect trickles down to the entire family. Like what problems my family was facing just 2 years before, they are not facing the same problems. And in fact, the intensity of it has reduced to a large extent. We see it in all the aspects. Like my father was having difficulty in division of the property of my grandfather. And I kept on working, and that division happened very smoothly. Because the ancestors were acknowledged. So even if one person acknowledges what has happened, they not only heal themselves, they not only heal their future generations, they also heal their past generations. And every soul in the family. It's that impact. Okay. So it will not happen in 1 or 2 sessions. If someone says you that, then either they are fooling you, or they simply don't know how this works. They are into some other kind of modality which doesn't work on somatics and trauma. And yes, it is not कि उसका help नहीं मिलेगा, उसका effect भी आएगा, but वो effect long lasting नहीं होगा. Maybe after 2 weeks or 2 months, you will go again that same. And that is why we call this work as real blood and gut work. Like, I will never say my client कि आपको ये result मिल जाएगा. I will not say. I'll always, today my fees is for 24 weeks, it is 5 lakh. And even at that moment, I just tell the client that what you are feeling today, you will not be feeling the same way. You will be 100% transformed. But how much your problems will be solved, I can't say that. Because it depends on what you bring to the table. And you won't believe, I show them the naked truth. I don't sugarcoat it. Like, because my job is not to please you, to satisfy you. My job as a therapist is to serve you, to show you your truth, to show you what is there. You have to see the pain. You have to face the pain. There is no other way. And if you don't face it, you will never come out of it. So some sessions are really intense and you just feel like crying and you sink into your deepest sadness. And that is a part of the job. I will not promise that you will feel happy after every session because that's not my. Because everything which is joined risks a fracture. Right? So you are connected with your mother, with your father. Since there is a joint, this always risks a fracture. And it is not necessary कि हर वक्त possible भी नहीं है, 100% possible नहीं है practically that our parents are there for us. It's not possible, it's not practical. But even if they are there for 60% of the time, and when I mean that they are there not physically but emotionally, अगर उन्होंने हमें डांट दिया है, so do they come and recognize that I have done this mistake? Do they validate our emotions? This builds a secure connection. डांट तो देते कि हाँ तुमने ये किया था या खुद को गुस्सा आया तब भी डांट दिया. But then do you go back to the child and tell them that I am sorry, I overreacted? That makes the connection secure. That validates the feeling of the child. And if it wasn't done, the child will forever feel that I was responsible for some other adult. और हमारे society में तो parents को वैसे भी भगवान बना दिया जाता है. So we don't see them as humans only. तो वो एक human level पर, if you have to see them.
बाप भी भगवान है, पति भी भगवान है, सब भगवान है.
हाँ. So जब आप उस space से होते हो, तब आपको क्या लगता है कि जब वो सब भगवान है, तो मतलब गलती तो सारी मेरी ही है. When I am at mistake, that means I have to take care of everything. That means the fault is, तो वहाँ word self worth पूरा zero हो जाता. And here we do the opposite. We ask you to see how they were. For example, if a woman has gone through a miscarriage, in my case, my mother has gone through 2 miscarriages before. Okay. And my pregnancy was also very difficult for her. So अब अगर वो मेरा सिर्फ ध्यान रख रही है, खाना टाइम पे दे रही है, मेरी हेल्थ का ध्यान रख रही है, for her that is the biggest thing she could do. She will never be emotionally connected to me. Aaj bhi I cannot share anything emotional to her, and even if I share, she will simply numb out. She will have nothing to say.
But
Not even a
you
word
work
of
hard, so
comfort.
you have worked so hard. You have worked for 3.5 years to get that. So do you receive it now or do you not receive it now?
I receive her fully in my internal landscape. So what happens now is that I don't lean on her for validating my emotions. And this is where the game changes. I see her. For example, she is like, why do you have to take so many sessions? Why do you keep taking sessions for free? You know, she is into that. Ki itni thak jati hai, kya matlab? And I see her concern. I see her concern, but I do not lean onto her ki, Mummy, aap kyun nahi samajh? And when I stopped leaning onto her, when I started supporting myself and validating myself, I stopped leaning on my husband as well. Earlier as well, it was like, why can't you see what I'm doing for you? I do so much and you don't even see. Now it is, I don't lean on him. Matlab, you won't believe I am on bed for last 20 days, abhi 15 din aur hai, fracture ho gaya, and not a single part of me feels guilty. And I'm like, ye la kar do, wo la kar do. Not from that, self-obsessed state. But I simply feel that, yes, even I am a human. It's okay to fall sick. And even I am worthy of receiving love and care. And you won't believe everyone is giving that. You are on mute soon.
No. I understood. I just.
So if someone says that, the session, 5 session, 10 session में ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक नहीं होगा. You will just get better at it, better at handling yourself and separating yourself from all those identities which had been given.
You will feel better, but you don't know how much you will feel better. And it's just उन्होंने किसी ने कुछ नहीं कहा, but एक खुद का होता है that we have done the work, so we'll be better.
Yeah. And then receiving becomes very easy. Like, until unless I heal my relationship with my mother in my internal landscape, I used to struggle. पैसे आते थे पर बहुत मेहनत करती थी तब आते. And I was scared of holding money. जैसे ही पैसे आए खर्चा कर. I would buy, I would invest in courses or I would buy gifts for everyone. That was my nature. Because I could not hold on to money. Since I could not hold on to mother, I could not hold on to money. I could not hold on to happiness. I could not hold on to abundance.
आती है और चली जाती है, वही बात.
आता है और जाता. चला जाता. आता भी बहुत मुश्किल से, मेहनत से. It wasn't easy. And now it is like I don't even realize and I see a message that my account is credited with 2 lakh. I don't even realize. It comes easily now. Every time I have 6-digit figure in my account. पहले तो भैया 4 digits से ऊपर जाते ही तो मुझे panic शुरू हो जाता. So, because now I can hold on to my mother in my inner landscape, I can hold on to everything. इसमें एक exercise होती है, wherein we keep writing letters to mother. 2 तरह के letters लिखते हैं हम. एक letter जो हम उनसे कभी नहीं share करने वाले, और एक letter जो हम उन्हें देंगे. And both will be true. And they will be true in different aspects. The one which we are not going to share with her will have all those hidden feelings, right? And the one which we are going to share with us will be acknowledging. एक स्टेज आती है जब आप अपने मदर को पूरी तरह से इंटरनली रिसीव कर लेते हो, वो दोनों लेटर एक बन जाते. That is the stage you realize कि आपको कुछ हाइड करने की जरूरत है. You will not say anything which will hurt her. You can say anything. And that doesn't come from a space of arrogance or, अब मैं समझदार हो गई, या मैं, it comes from sheer love, pure love. Just like a child will, एक छोटा बच्चा अपनी मम्मी को मार भी देता है, राइट, और फिर भी उसकी मम्मा उसे प्यार ही समझती है. आप उतना वापस उस स्पेस पे चले जाते, and then everything becomes easy. So healing is becoming that child again, finding yourself as that child who is worthy of receiving.
And is also responsible.
The child is not responsible. For example, Sonal, when you will have a child, will you make him or her responsible for anything? For your happiness, for maintaining the house, would you want that? No. So no mother wants the child to be responsible for it. If a mother is expecting that, and it happens, if a parent is expecting the child to fulfill their needs, then they are projecting their own unmet needs from their parents. And there you have to draw the boundary. And you don't have to do it outwardly, you can do it inside, and everything will change.
Thank you so much. I have to take a leave. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and I'll get back to you after
Sure.
everything.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Yes, Jasmine.
So, for me, the last part of the session, I mean, it was like I was coming in and out of it, but the last part, especially when you have to turn our back and it was about like living your own life, this fear of losing the mom was coming up. So actually, I have a disability, and like, especially in my early years, there was like a lot of medical stuff involved,
Hmm.
and my mother was my family caregiver, and so it's like I am deeply very close to her, but there is also a lot of like dependency. Even though now I can do everything on my own, there is a emotional dependency, and now I'm also at a stage where I want to like move out of the city, explore other opportunities. Like, for the last many years, I've been trying to do a master's, and every year when it comes to doing the master application, I panic and I, change my plans. So now this year is kind of like my last year when I can do it. And I'm still struggling with it. I'm committed to it, but I'm still struggling. And I'm realizing that a lot of it has to do with the fact that if I go for this, if I choose this, I'll be away from my mother, because it's not just the 2 years that I'll be studying at the university that I'll be away. Maybe after that, doing that kind of opportunities that would open up for me would sort of take me away from her. And even today, like that whole act of like wanting to walk away from her was like physically repulsive. Like my body was shaking. And even when I was writing, after the point, the only word I could write was alone, alone, alone. Because I mean, I do have other family, but I don't feel emotionally connected to anyone except my mother. And so this whole part of losing mother, and then there will be no one to take care of me. I know a lot of it is her projection and society's projection, but it is somewhere still stopping me from creating a life, my own life.
Jasmine, I have few questions for you. What is your position in the family? Do you have siblings or?
I am the eldest, but I have a younger sibling, my brother.
Okay. And was any miscarriage or abortion before you?
No,
Okay.
the first child.
And when was this disability diagnosed?
And so there were like multiple things. It kind of like started from the very beginning because I had a cleft palate. So I could not breastfeed. So I was not breastfed. And then there was like because of which I had very low immunity. So I used to keep falling sick. Then when I was 3, it was discovered that I will have a spine related issue. And then it was just like a lot of like the first 12 years were just in hospitals. Like when I was 8 or 9, I went through a surgery. And
So, Jasmine, what is happening here is there is a lot of break in bonds between you and your mother. Okay, and uninterrupted outreach too. Interrupted outreach is that when mother is physically present, but you cannot access to her. Like because of this cleft issue, you could not take her life force, right? And in such cases, what happens? The mother continuously has this fear that she will lose the child, right? And she will be all alone because this child has made her mother, right? And as a child, you absorb all of it. So it is not your fear, rather, it's your mother's fear. And when you feel that, you will be all alone, and if you go ahead in your life, you would be losing her. So tell me honestly, okay? Is your mother stopping you from living your life to the fullest?
energetically, yes.
No. Tell me the facts. Is she stopping you?
I mean, she's not really supporting the idea of me doing this.
But she's not supporting. She's not supporting, but she is opening up to this idea, right? That means she is not stopping you. And understand, for a woman whose first child is having so much difficulty and she is in the fear of losing this child, it's like her entire life is dependent on taking care of this child. So the void she would feel, that is very difficult to process. But that doesn't mean she doesn't want you to, move ahead in your life. What is stopping you is your own fear. And understand, Jasmine, whenever we turn towards our past, because we fear that we are going to lose our relationships, what is happening is we are turning back to all the possibilities that the future holds for us. But if we choose the future and if we move ahead in that direction, we are also choosing the past because we are the extension of our parents, right? And any day, metamorphically or literally, they are not going to stay with us forever, right? And they would never want us that they become the reason for being stuck in life. So you have to work on your fears. She's not even stopping you energetically. It's your own energies which is not willing to leave this space because of the fear of unknown, what life holds for you. And yes, a part of you may be excited,
Yeah.
but at the same
Well,
time, a
right
part of
now-
you is fearful.
Right now, ever since that session, like even right now, I'm finding it very difficult to have this conversation with you.
Yeah,
It's very difficult. So, maybe I can come back to you separately
yeah, you
talk
please
about
do.
this and see this.
Yeah.
But like, right now, what can I do to like sort of like
I will suggest an exercise for you, Jasmine. What you have to do is you have to keep a picture of your mother on your left side, okay? And on the left side of your table, just put a picture of her, and before sleeping, tell her, Mom, I take all your love, okay? Because sleeping is a position when we are very vulnerable, right? We do not have any guards. And you ask her to take care of you in that position, okay? And you may take time to find a connection in this exercise, but if you keep on doing it day after day for 90 days at least, you will see that you feel supported in ways that you can't even imagine. Okay?
supportive even now? But
No, supporting energetically that you can move ahead. And I'm still there with you. It is your fear of losing her. It is not her fear of losing.
Neha, what are we supposed to say to the mother?
In this
Yeah.
exercise,
Yeah.
in this exercise, you simply have to tell her that, Mom, please hold me.
Hold me.
Please hold me and be there for me. And you in your sleep become that child who is held by her mother. Okay, and when you keep on doing this, you will energetically feel that she is there for you. And then Jasmine, your fear of moving to a different city or taking a new life, you will not feel like losing her, because you will find her support every day. Do it with a picture for some time, at least 90 days you do it. Okay, and see, literally feel it as she is holding you, you becoming a tiny baby, and she is holding you and rocking you as an infant. See her seeing you with all the love and kindness in her eyes. And the more you see it, you will feel that she is always with me. She is there in my body, breathing with me. And then your fear of losing her or losing the relationships or being scared of the new life will start dissolving. And at the same time, you have to work on those moments as well. Because when you are disabled, when you are dependent on your mother, a core belief is formed: what will I do if I'll not have her? Right? So, working on this belief needs working on these inner child experiences of yours so that it somatically leaves your body. And once you start disassociating with this belief that you are full with or without her, you are enough with or without her, then what happens is you will not be dependent on her for your emotional survival. Earlier, it was your physical survival, and now it is your emotional survival. You will not be dependent on her. Okay? And then you will be able to take her fully wherever you go. That will help you a lot, I think.
Actually, you said that, some of this fear of losing was also hers because
Yes. Because you absorbed as a child. So when we work on that inner child experience, you will automatically release what is not yours, what is hers. And you will acknowledge her fear. At the same time, you will bring what was yours. Like a child doesn't feel, the child has no fear of death
so like
because they
right
simply
now
don't know.
I do this exercise. Like right now I'm feeling very frazzled. Is there something I can do to soothe myself right now?
I would suggest to journal.
Okay.
Okay? Write down all the moments when you felt that you will not be able to make it. And it was only your mother who held you. Just write down all those moments, and then it will make you ensure you that she was the real fighter who never gave up on you. So if she never gave up on you, how could you give up on yourself?
Okay. I'll do that. And I'll reach out to you separately.
Yeah, please do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing here, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yes, Neha.
Actually, Sneha, when we were doing this activity, I found myself very neutral in the sense there were no sensations in my body while my mother was stepping towards me or going away. No, I felt disconnect basically. I mean, there was no anger, nothing. There was no emotions at all. But when I visualized her childhood, then I could realize certain things which are quite similar to what I have also felt in my childhood. So at the level of understanding, I feel that I have no hard feelings for her, because now as a mother also I understand, when my daughter misunderstands me, but I'm coming from a completely different uh, you know um, understanding. But how she reacts and what is my point of view, there's a lot of difference. You can say it's like completely opposite. And that has happened with me also during my childhood days and teenage days. I'm not sure how to take it. Would I say that the trauma is healed or it is still there? On the level of understanding, I don't have any hard feelings for her now.
Because now you're seeing yourself as an adult right? You are seeing yourself as a mother who is experiencing the same with your child, so you can understand what she was doing. But that is not required, because for her, you are a child, right? So you have to go back. So when you say that I didn't had any feelings when she was coming near me and when she was moving away, that is a classic form of numbing, or which we call as freezing, when you simply do not have any connection with your body. So you're so numbed out, the cord is so fragmented, the connection is so fragmented that now it simply doesn't matter whether she is here or she is not here. So you have to go back to this child experience where you will be processing this negligence, where you have to process this ignorance, because until and unless you become a child and you are willing to receive, you cannot pass it on to your daughter. You can only give what you have received. If you have received ignorance and you are numbed by it, you will be giving the same, and your daughter will also be numbed. The reactions may differ. Like earlier, you might have felt fighting or just moving out of that space, flight. Her response mechanism may be different. She would be using fight, flight, or a combination, or you might be doing fawn and she would be doing some combination of this. The response to the coping mechanism might change, but the felt sensation remains the same. And now when you say that when you saw your mother as a child, then you saw the breaks there as well, right? So you have to work on the mother wound with respect to her mother as well. So this will come into inner child as well as intergenerational work, when you have to relive that, I was crying, maybe a visual comes to you and you're sitting and crying and you're waiting for your mother and you keep on crying, crying and crying and she doesn't come. And after some time you self-soothe yourself and that's okay. She will not come.
But
And
on
even
the
if after that she
contrary,
comes,
Mhm.
I will not feel anything.
But on the contrary, I mean, this has exactly happened with me during my childhood. Whenever I used to wake up, I used to cry badly, and she would have to come because I would not stop crying unless she's there and take me in her lap. I have done a lot of these things. I mean, I used to go, even she was working, I used to go with her also to her workplace from my play school. She used to come pick me up from my play school and would take me to her workplace. That she has done. But during my teenage, when I was going through tough phase in, like you go through certain issues in your teenage. At that point of time, I felt very lonely. She would not come to me. I know, because she feared that I will shout, because I was very short tempered. I used to get very angry. I know she would have avoided, or she was not having that emotional capacity to handle how I'm going to react, because I was very, very impulsive at that point of time. So now I understand that why she did not come. But at that point of time, I felt extreme
Understanding
loneliness.
is something different than processing it. Okay? Your daughter also might understand you. She might understand your concerns, but that doesn't change what she feels. Now see yourself as a child who was crying without any reason just to get that mother's attention, because she knew that until and unless she throws a tantrum, mother will not come. For a child, any attention is attention, whether it is positive or negative. So growing up, I will invite certain circumstances which demands her to be there for me. And as a child, she would hold me in her lap, and I will be soothed. But when I grew up as a teen, she could not hold me in her lap, right? She cannot soothe me. Then I wanted something else from her, which I wanted in the beginning as well. The emotional connection. So if your mother doesn't have, there is this beautiful video, you can search it in Google, Edtronics video,
What is
wherein
that? I didn't get
Edtronics, Edtronics.
ED,
ED is Ed and Tronics, Tronics. I will share the link in the as well if I So in this Etronics video, there is an infant, okay? And it shows how the mother continuously reacts and poos according to the infant's behavior, and how the infant is very well comforted. And then after some time, they do an experiment wherein the mother is just silent. And no matter how many times the infant tries to babble and to take her attention, but the mother's attention is not there. And it just happens for 30-40 seconds. And the infant is literally distressed. He keeps on trying, and he gives up. He simply gives up. And then the mother comes back. And she again goes and cooing and acidifies, and the child's relief is evident. So when it happens for a short time, the connection can still be formed. But if it happens for a longer period of time, the child actually has given up in his internal landscape. And there where the initial fracture has already happened. So you have to go back to that time. And when we do that, we will also be working on those inner children of your mother too. Because everything is genetic here. You will be giving what belongs to her, what belongs to your nanny, and at some places you will be changing the entire landscape by being her at the receiving end from your nanny. And then she is giving it to you. She cannot give what she hasn't received, even though you understand it cognitively, but taking it all in is something which is very important at somatic level. Otherwise, you will cognitively understand everything. You will understand that I need to give space to my daughter. I need to be understanding, and you will have all these modern gyan, but you will not be able to implement it. Or the implementation may not be longer. It will change. It will flip immediately. Because the split is in the body. It is about how you feel and how you think. जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि हाँ हमें पता है हमें ये चीजें करनी ये चीज नहीं करनी पर मन नहीं करता. We simply are unable to do it. In case of addiction as well, everyone knows that these substances are harmful, but they simply cannot give up. It's like that urge is so strong. So that pull is so strong that you will not be able to make the change if you haven't worked on your somatic, if you haven't worked on your inner child experience.
So it means that I need to work on my childhood.
Yes. Until and unless you work on your childhood, you will not be acting as an adult here. You will be functioning as a child whose control has been lost. Now just go back and revisit the fights or the arguments which you had with your daughter. Were you really acting as an adult? Or were you acting out of fear of losing control? For you to be an adult in any relationship, you have to first heal your child. Otherwise, your inner child will pop up and you will behave like child, demanding unnecessary things. And after some time, you may go and reflect back when you start thinking cognitively, oh, I should have done this. I should have let it go. I should not be so strict. I should have made her understand in a polite way. All these things will come up. But when it comes to real time, you will again go back to that being a child whose control was lost, who didn't get that attention, who wasn't notified, who was made felt unworthy. All these emotions will surface. If you just go back to any arguments which you had and see why did you behave that way, why you overreacted, how did it make you feel, you will go back to that experience again. That I felt that she is not respected, she is not loving. I felt unloved, I felt unheard, I felt unseen. The truth is, it's not happening now. You are seen, you are heard, you are respected, and that is why she is listening to your arguments, right? But you go back to that child part. So that is why working on it is very important. Without it, you cannot move ahead. You cannot be that functioning adult. There's a beautiful book, you know, immature children in adult bodies, something like that. And when you will read it, you will truly understand what I mean when I say that even though we have grown up as an adult, emotionally immature, I will just send a link of that book. I'm forgetting the name, Emotionally Immature Children in Adult Bodies, something like that. And when you will read it, you will truly understand that you were never an adult in the space. It's like two children. Your daughter is a child and you are a child. Because the adults will not argue, they know what they are doing. They won't feel threatened. It's a child who feels threatened. Adult children of emotionally immature parents, it's something like that. I will just send the link on the book. Okay. Anything else?
Not for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's adult children of emotionally immature
Yeah.
parents.
Adult children of emotionally immature. Just read it and you'll find how emotionally immature we are, and we expect our children to behave like adults. Whereas it is we who have to behave like adults. That will give you a real insight of how your inner child takes over without you even knowing. Okay?
Because basically that's my, you can say, I have in that happens in all my relations. I'm
Because
not able to connect deeply with any of my relations. That's
yes,
the
that happens because all the relationships come from the single relationship of mother. So understand, when I talk about mother and father, mother is the form of receiving. She becomes the core. Okay. The core is where the life force is. So all the forms of receiving, whether it's life, whether it's love, whether it is health, whether it is happiness, whether it is relationships, abundance, money, all of it comes the way we receive our mother. And your father is your spine. So when you have to show up in the world, when you have to put up your confident self, when you have to put out and do negotiations, when you have to actually do the task, all of it comes how you experience your father in your inner landscape. And it has nothing to do with how cordial or how harmonious your relationship is now. It has nothing to do with it. Right? Because, like what I said to Jasmine as well, that, we keep on writing letters, two letters. One is what we truly feel, which we'll never share with them. And one is what we want to tell them. And both are true. But there comes a time when both of the letters are one. There is nothing which is behind the surface.
yeah.
And that's where you have healed it. When you see even their most toxic behaviors and you find the reason behind it somatically. It's not cognitive. It's never cognitive. And even when you will read this book, you will understand what is happening with you cognitively, but it doesn't help you release much. That's the reason why self-help books do not offer us healing to a great extent, because there is no somatic practicing. And there is no accountability as well. Like if the book asks you to journal and write down these things, we'll do it 2 times, 3 times, and then we'll leave it. There's no accountability as well, because it's too difficult to process and see that pain on our own. But that will give you an insight of what is happening with you. Okay. So just read it and you will find out what is happening exactly with you and why it is affecting all your relationships.
Yeah, sure, I will. Thank you.
Yeah,
I would leave now. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Bye. Take care. Thank you for being here. Yes, Diksha.
Hi. So
Hi.
I have firstly I wanted to thank you for the process. I kind of was realizing that every time we end in such a note, I wanted to thank for this space. And I have two why I raised hand because it was in the continuity of with what you were discussing. So you said something that we have to work on our inner child, and unless we work on the inner child, we don't like the adult. So is it like that? Apu, can I speak in Hindi? मतलब,
हाँ हाँ
you
प्लीज गो
understand? I mean, translation कभी कभी नहीं होता तो जैसे for example ऐसा है कि आप you first पूरे तरीके से आप inner child पे काम कर लो and then you go. It's not a segregated healing journey, no, a self work journey. For example, I'm learning to stand up for myself now, and it's very new, like small things to stand up and say that this is not okay. And like most of the time I have to tell that, but I'm a 29-year-old woman. Do you understand it? And there's a lot of discomfort. Like after that, na, काफी बार बहुत uncomfortable लगता है मुझे काफी time लगा समझने में अच्छा because we are not used to it. We are used to people
No, it is
pleasing.
not about the discomfort because we are not used to do it. The discomfort is because we have made their nose as something personal to us.
There, what?
Their nose, their rejections as something personal to us. And that is why it is discomfort. आप कितनी चीजें लाइफ में नए करते हो, राइट? आप रैंडम लोगों को भी तो नए नहीं बोल देते हो ना. You say no to and you don't feel anything. So it's not that it is new to you. It is new to you because you feel जिन लोगों का rejection बहुत matter करता है. अरे, because you have associated your worth with their answer, with their approval.
हाँ तो
This
वो
is
तो
where you need to work upon. It's not about because आप ऐसे नहीं कितनी बार भी बोल दो बाउंड्री सेट करने के नाम से because this is actually इंटरनेट पे हमको इतनी सारी चीजें बताई जाती है. We are exploded with information and they are like, yeah, we have to set boundaries, we have to say no, but ऐसा नहीं होता है. बाउंड्री करने का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि हाँ हम फाइट कर ले, नो बोल ले और उससे फाइट कर ले. इट इज नॉट दैट. Boundary is that I accept your love, but I do not accept the form of love. It is done with utmost love and care. That I accept, mama, आप मुझे बोल रहे हो बाहर नहीं जाना है. I understand what space you are coming from, and it is with absolute empathy and love. There is no other feeling. That I understand the concern behind your rejection, and therefore I take that concern in, but I do not take the form of love.
by
That
that
is
you
what.
mean the form of
यानी
love
कि
you can still
यानी
choose
कि
what to do.
I will do, but it doesn't mean that I'm dishonoring. I am taking your love. That means I'm understanding your concerns. So जब आप उस space से आते हो तो आपका approach बहुत different होता है. For example, if I'm going out and my mother is saying no, you should not, and still I want to go. So one space is I am an adult. I can do whatever I want. Come on. सब लोग जा रहे हैं मैं भी जाऊंगी. That space comes from proving your authority. That's a very
I
different
was not
space.
going to that. That's
Yeah, something like it's
okay.
okay. I also know what I want to. I can think of मेरा अच्छा बुरा मुझे सब पता है. It is coming from that space as well. But एक होता है, Mama, I understand that you are scared, and this has to be felt. It cannot be said. It has to be felt that I understand that you are scared, and I'm going out because I want to go out, but I will keep you updated. So there is the boundary that I'm doing what I want to do, but yet I'm acknowledging your fear and your love, and I'm taking that fear, but I'm not accepting your way of showing that love.
So, but this happens to be. Matlab, my question was, for example, you said कि toxic behavior होता है many times, and then it doesn't affect your internal landscape. Like and it happens like effortlessly. No, matlab you don't have to do the cognitive thinking.
You don't have.
Right? But what I'm curious about here is that how is the response? For example, in last 1 year, I came to so many. Like I felt I was at some place, and then somehow the journey happened this way that so many times I was doing something, and I just remembered that shit यार मतलब मुझे बुरा लग रहा था कि लोगों ने ऐसे किसी ने ऐसे जज किया है क्या. And then I was feeling shit यार मम्मी के साथ भी ऐसे करते थे shit यार. And then I started
Then you are merged with your mom, no? Then you're merged with your mom. Merging is one of the forms of intergenerational trauma. Merging is when we relive those same experiences or
No,
similar
not
feelings.
that. I mean, I'm not able to put it in the right words. You during the exercise, there was a part where you said that see her as a human.
Yeah.
So
But that
that
doesn't mean
that
that
kind of
I will make her
happening.
pain as mine.
No,
I
no,
just
I'm
have
not
to
saying.
see.
I'm not saying that. So, so this started happening. That see her as a human, and this time when I came home, it was very surprising that for so many things, how I used to react, my reaction was different. Or sometimes I did not react, and I was also observing it. That यार ये क्या हो रहा है पहले तो मैं इसी बात पे बहुत चिल्ला देती थी और I could see her more as a human, so but sometimes this also happened कि मतलब अभी जैसे कल की बात है I was very depressed because of that entire episode. So I stood up for myself in one of the situations. Someone said something which was very abusive and not okay. And I said, and then my mother kind of did not come in the picture. Like she did not take my side. She kind of was very neutral. She did not support me. She was like, "Ban karo." But I, as a matlab, I was not. And then I shouted, and then I also realized that somehow I still that it felt बहुत दर्द हुआ मतलब as a not just and so sometimes this also happens like you realize that ये trigger नहीं आ रहा उसी point पे काफी चीजों में नहीं आ रहा like how you're explaining one of the
So
participants
understand, Deeksha, it will happen in layers. There will be moments that even if you are healed, you will feel like, she might understand you. She should understand you. And then you have to go to another deeper layer. मतलब healing is like, जैसे कल दीप्ति ने बहुत अच्छे से explain किया था, that it is like peeling an onion. You will be going to that same experience again and again, again and
how
again.
was the response to the toxic behavior? I was curious for that.
That will automatically change every time you work on an inner layer of yours. जो चीजें आज आपको ट्रिगर करिए, how will the response change? That is, there is no definite answer, but I can give you,
No,
for
not
example.
trigger. For example, as I was saying that when I'm learning to stand up, sometimes क्या होता है और बहुत प्यार से, like कभी-कभी like I've spoken and I was very surprised. I've spoken the same way that I understand what you're saying, but see, this is my and I was very surprised to see this also. In that situation, I did not say anything. I went, I processed it, I sit with that, and 2 दिन बाद जाके so I'm the only person in my family who kind of tries to have a conversation. ये concept
You know what? Everyone who is sitting here, they are the only one in their family.
हाँ मतलब ऐसा concept नहीं है ना वो
ये जो फैमिली होती है ना कि हाँ पूरी हील्ड फैमिली, ये अभी तक एक मिथ है. उस स्टेज पर आने में हमें बहुत टाइम लगेगा.
So when I go मतलब you go back and then you stand up for yourself and you try to make them understand कि why you did something and in a healthy way, not like तो क्या होता है मतलब if the lens is not matching, it's very
and it is exactly this is the problem, Diksha. What you are expecting is that the response will change. The other person will respond in the same way. How you take that response will change. The healing has to happen inside you. तो अगर वो सेम आप बहुत अच्छे से बात कर रहे हो, बहुत अच्छे से समझा रहे हो अपना व्यू, उनका रिस्पॉन्स उतना ही डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है प्रोसेस करना, but then you will not make it about yourself.
Yeah, that I get. What I'm saying is that there is a certain level of grief.
Then you have to process that grief with why she is not understanding.
मैं मेरी मम्मी से मतलब for example एक दिन like her way of involvement, like one of the participants was telling कि physical care was one of the ways she could connect with the mother. So I think मतलब जैसे मैं थोड़ा अभी adult में आप adult body में आने like not adult body, like when you're trying to do it from an adult lens and you're embodying it, थोड़ा ना distance होता जा रहा है, and not distance in a वैसा वाला distance, like she's there but in the same matters her say was very, and now it doesn't matter that, and in a healthy way it doesn't matter कि मम्मी का say क्या है या किसी का say क्या है, because you feel so empowered in that decision, but there's some part of pain or grief you know,
Which
कि
you need
जैसे
to address. Which you need
ऐसे
to
लग रहा है
address.
कि दूर हो
You
है
know,
मतलब
I have sent you a questionnaire, I guess, right? You answer that, and then maybe we will connect on a personal level, and then I'll help you identify why it is happening. Okay, because giving a vague answer will not help.
yeah.
Okay. Deepti, Gayatri, would any of you like to share?
For me, the session, it was a lot of like seeing my mom and all that. It was very numb, you know, because of late, I mean, we've had a very, you know, the up and down kind of relationship, but of late, it got I don't know how to say it exactly. I feel like I've had enough, and I've come to that stage where I'm just keeping a distance. So I speak only when necessary. It's very difficult. Initially, she used to like she complains about me a lot, like to my sister and all that. I don't know who else she complains about me to, but like she used to tell my sister, oh, she can't even call. And the thing is, I can't even bring myself to call her. I feel like there's going to be a lot of judgment. There's going to be a lot of so I it's like, for example, she'll be like, have you eaten? And then if I say no, she'll be like, oh, it's late, you shouldn't be eating late. And then, or if I said yes, then she'll be like, what did you eat? Oh, you shouldn't be eating this. I'm 43, and she still does that, right? Like, and the thing is, she's been doing it for a very long time, way before I gain all these weight, right? And the thing is, even back then, I told her, like, just leave it. It's not like I'm trying to take care of myself to the best of my ability, but and yet she keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. And I got married in July. So even before that, there was a lot of things, because I wanted a simple one and she wanted to call some people, and I said, no, there's a limit to the number, all these things. And when she tries to push to get her way and all that, so all this accumulation over the years, and especially in this last year, it's just I just feel like I can't talk to her. I don't even feel like looking at her. I just want to keep this distance, because and there are times where sometimes she says something to me, and I tell myself, just answer in a very neutral way. It will start off like that, and then I might end up saying something, and it comes out very rude, and she goes like, can't you talk nicely to me? So I know it, and I'm telling myself, like, speak nicely, keep the I can't. It comes out, the rudeness, or whatever it is, just comes out without even, I'm not able to control it. So I feel like the best thing for me that I can do is just keep that distance, and not call her. In fact, I don't even call her. If she needs something, she will call. If I want to tell her something, I will just text. I find it easier that way. I find speaking to her can trigger me a lot.
And what does it trigger inside you? That's my question.
Sorry?
What does it trigger inside you? Just close your eyes, go back to your recent conversation, and see you starting it off really nicely, and she questioning you, your choices, and you justifying it, and then she criticizes you. How does this make you feel?
It's like something inside me just snaps.
And what is it?
Hmm.
If there's something inside you which just snaps, if you can give it a voice, okay? If it could speak, what would it say?
Just stop. Maybe even shut up. Like I've had enough.
And Gayatri, my question is, were you raised in a lot of shoulds and should nots? Like you were not allowed to be yourself. It's like you have to do this or this or that or that. A continuous instruction oriented.
Pretty much.
Because what happens is when we have a lot of instructions coming up from the parent, the child does not have any space to be on their own. They cannot be themselves. So as a child, you have to comply. But this part where the spontaneity in you, this gets suppressed. And it gets suppressed to such an extent that it bursts out in even now, in even the most unexpected circumstances. Like she asking you what you are eating and why are you eating. So there is no concern. It's like snap, it's an irritation that can you just stop it? I can live my life over here. Right? This comes when you do not have a lot of freedom to explore because a child needs space and time to explore, right?
Mhm.
When it is not given to them, their innate nature is suppressed.
Mhm.
And this also brings me to a question that were there any miscarriages or abortion before?
Um, no. Was it after me? So I'm the oldest, my sister's younger, and after my sister there were two. But as far as I know, nothing before me.
And what about your mother? Before her, did your grandmother experience any miscarriage or abortion?
I don't know.
And when you say that you are the oldest, was the pregnancy easy or difficult? Were you conceived easily or were there complications there?
I think the conceiving part was quite easy because like I was born 9 months after and after they got married, and the only thing she used to like in a joking way say was like, oh, she was in labor with me for like 12 hours. And yeah, that's the only thing. Apart from that, nothing much that she has mentioned because I've tried asking her. Yeah.
Often with time, with situations of immediate conception, there is inherent shame. There is inherent judgment.
Okay.
Okay, and this inherent shame and inherent judgment is passed down onto the child as well. Because with immediate conception, two more things happen. Is one is that there is inherent shame. The other is the mother is not emotionally as well as physically prepared to have a child. At the same time, she senses the child as someone who has not let her live a relationship with her partner the way she desires because the intimacy level has dropped and all the expectations which a girl has as a bride has changed. Because of these reasons, what happens is when she feels that she is not emotionally and physically capable to bear the child, and there are a lot of judgments and shame, there is an innate tendency to prove herself as a mother. And therefore, she is often controlling. Let her do this. Because it is not about the child anymore then. It is not even about child safety. It is about me as a mother proving that I am a good mother to the people at large.
Right. So speaking of that, like I do remember, like I was recalling earlier, like, as a child, she used to dress me up and, tie my hair and everything and like this prim and proper. And as I grew, for me, I at one point I was a little tomboyish, wearing I hate wearing jewelry and all that stuff. And then she'd be like, wear gold earrings when you go out and that sort of thing. And I'd be like, I don't want to. And even until now, I'm still like that. And that triggers her. And she will say something to trigger me and we just trigger each other. that sort of,
Because when you refuse as a child, her question as a mother, that is challenged. Her ability as a mother is challenged.
and
And
what about as an
you
adult?
as a child, yes, now she's still functioning from that space. And therefore, parents keep on trying to control their children's life because somewhere it is about their ability. It is about their parenting, how well they will be received by the world. It's not about child anymore. And in such cases, the child is so pressured that they simply feel that they do not exist. And in all the possible ways, they will go do what they were not supposed to do or what they were told not to. Just to get that attention, see that even I am a living human being. I need a space of my own. Because negative attention is the only way they could get attention. Okay, so in such cases, again, there is this initial fracture because since she was not emotionally and mentally prepared, she could not connect with you at the home as well. The only thing she felt was, what will people say? How will people make fun of? And that is still controlling her parenting. What will people say if you put on weight? What will people say if you'll not wear jeans? What will people say if you will do this, if you will not do this? So she is coming from that space. And you are also operating from that child space who was not seen. Right? So you have to work on this part so that her controlling nature doesn't affect. Because when you are irritated with your mother, you are irritated with every relationship. Every relationship feels like controlling to you, where you do not get any space to breathe. Right? So and that's what creates further irritation in your life. But the source of the irritation is that where I was not seen and heard. Like, I'm not sure, but I'm just asking you that do you get impatient when people don't listen to you? Or when people do not ask your opinion? Does it?
Yeah, like when people don't listen, like so I'm a teacher, and like I have this student who's a kid. Oh my God, he really plucks my nerves sometimes. So like, yes, that tends to happen a lot.
Because there again, whether I matter or not is question. Because since my choices were not respected as a child, I feel if someone doesn't respect my choices now, I feel as a personal attack that they don't respect me. It has got something to do with me. They have a personal agenda. They simply don't want me to live a comfortable life. So this is where you need to work upon. Okay, so just go and revisit these exercises, this mother exercise again and again. And maybe a time will come when you will be able to feel this numbness melting away. You will be able to feel that irritation when she comes. Right now, you're not able to feel that irritation as well.
No, there was nothing.
Yeah. So
Maybe
it will take time.
Maybe if it was a year ago, I would have felt the irritation.
Because
but
now it's like numb. I have given up on you.
Yeah.
I have simply given up.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, I'm not going to feel that pain again. I'm not going to give you the power to make me feel powerless again. So if you keep doing this mother exercise, someday you might feel irritation and sensation, and then it is a sign of progress, because from not feeling anything, you have moved to a point of feeling.
Right.
And then gradually, it's like baby step, and there is no fixed timeline. There is no rush.
Right.
You can have all the time. But I guess this will help you a lot.
Okay. And my question is, can you just maybe like summarize this somatically and cognitively for me?
Okay. For example, you know it in your brain that you don't need to, give your mother the power to say anything. You will simply say, that, I will not go into this conversation because I know this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. This is how she is going to react. You know it at cognitive level. But when it comes initially, when you're functioning from your brain, it's like, yes, I have eaten well enough. Okay, you're giving the answers to avoid any kind of conflict, right? That is from cognitive. But something or the other, she asks a question and then something triggers inside you. And you react in a way in which you thought you will not react. This is somatic. This is feeling, right? That you, something feels so uneasy into you and you burst out. So this is what we call as split. So what happens is that this is the part, this neofrontal cortex is the part which has developed the latest as we evolve. But primarily it is this mammalian brain and reptilian brain through which we function. And the function of this mammalian brain and reptilian brain is primarily survival. Okay, the way we operated in jungle animals. The moment the predator comes, the perpetrator comes, we would either freeze, or we would fight, or we would just fly away. Right? We will just move away. So this is how we function. So either we will fight. So the moment that thing appears and she keeps on nagging, that switches on inside your body. It's like a pre-programmed computer. The programming takes place and you again respond from that freeze, flight, or fright. So this is somatic.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So I've had this back pain
Yeah.
for more than a decade now, and it's on the left side. But my mom also has she has, her problem is specifically sciatica. She's gone to the doctor, so her pain is there, has been there for a long time. Mine happened about maybe more or less 10 plus years ago. It started. I'm not sure what triggered it. It sounds like it could be a sciatica thing. The way I notice the pain, because it travels, it starts in the middle, it travels up, and it travels down from time to time. I've done a CT scan and all that, and they couldn't diagnose anything. So basically I'm living with it. I go for acupuncture once in a while when the pain flares up and that sort of thing. Could this be connected?
And there I have a question. How was your mom's relationship with her father?
As far as I know, like from what I saw, up till the time I was 18 years old, like it seemed pretty good to me. I mean, yes, they will have some arguments and all that, but then they'll patch up and it's good. Prior to that, when she was younger, I don't know.
Because when we talk about back problems, so it is about bone health, right? And this is directly connected to the relationship what father had. So here I will be needing history. So what I'll do, Gayatri, I'll send you a questionnaire. Okay? You answer it to the best of your ability, and then I can have an individual session with you where I can help you understand that is this related or not.
Okay.
Because without that history, it is very difficult to talk.
Okay.
Okay? So I'll send that.
I answer them just to the best of my ability. Like I don't have to go back to her and ask her or
If
anything.
you feel comfortable, you go back to her and ask. And if you don't feel comfortable, then it's okay. We will work with whatever we have.
All right. Okay. Great. Thanks a lot, Sneha.
You're welcome. Deepti, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, hi. Thank you so
Hi.
much for holding space.
Thank you.
When we met, I felt very calm and composed, and I was joyed to see my mother actually. And we had easy conversations. I was able to express myself completely. And I think while you were taking us through the journey, I had some uh, repeated realizations, I would say. But the intensity, of course, wasn't as much as I would feel earlier sometimes come alive just in her only while I think and see of those things. So one of the things that I felt was when you asked me to receive the love through her, I did see like becoming a pure channel and receiving the love. But not just that, I also saw that she was being supported by her biological mother, who she had lost when she was pretty young. Maybe she must have just been 4 or 5 years old, you know. So that is how, like, my mother's never had a mother figure. She stayed with relatives and moved along, and so she's internalized a lot of, what is acceptable by society to behave by those standards, people pleasing, and all of those uh, patterns, right? And then she has subconsciously passed it down in her parenting style to the children. And one thing that I came around realizing was the fact that she also faced a lot of rejection downright by my grandmother. Okay, so my grandmother was quite a hard person to be with. She was like,
Your
um,
grandmother, that means your paternal grandmother?
yeah, my father's mother, right? And my father's mother donned that role because my father lost his father when my father was in the ninth grade. So his mother has mothered 5 children without a husband, and she's become like that masculine figure and like a dominatrix sort of a figurine. And she was a very hard person as a mother-in-law, and I could see that conflict constantly between them. And once my uncle got married, that is when my aunt came into the picture, my mother's rejection was even more blatant and downright into the eye, right? And that rejection was something that she was playing out all the time, completely in her, the way she was just generally being around and all of that. So, yeah, those were just some realizations which did come, and I was aware of them. I was just feeling those sensations, and eventually I was able to see, yes, that she's tried her level best to be as much as she can and how she can be. And interestingly, in my current dynamic with her, I am in a space where possibly internally I have accepted a lot, and I really accept her for who she is, and I feel very nice about it, okay? But in my external landscape, I am sometimes keeping a little bit of a loving boundary, like the tough love part of it. When so disrespect is something which is a theme that has been in the family, right? And that's something that I've been working with consciously. And recently, something had happened where my younger brother had disrespected me in a common space. And I have been trying to create boundaries around the common spaces that I'm sharing to feel supported and nurtured in a manner that is um, nourishing to me and not like exposing me to so many things which are unnecessary for me to deal with. Like I've worked with them, dealt with them, and I've realized that this is how much I want to have my muscle with it and leave it at that, right? And then when that happened, I was like just regulated, calm, and everything. And of course, I did not react to the situation. But eventually, there was a little expectation from me that my mother should have addressed that, or at least, had a little bit of a cognizance, because I expect that she should help set that little space for respect when your child is being disrespected in a common space, right? Which didn't quite happen, okay? And that is why I wanted to just keep a little bit of a distance, and I was not trying to like be accepting of her calls or whatever for just about 2 or 3 days for that matter. So while that is happening, I realized that in the internal landscape, I'm not so agitated and whatever. But for me, it's like still in my external landscape. Sometimes I have to still choose to show that boundary around so that I am able to feel like accept them for knowing that they can't do too much about it, and this is how much that they can really give. But at the same time, yes, there are times where I would just like her to be cognizant about it. Or my mom's first reaction is like, मेरे से फालतू की बातें मत कर, ठीक है? So whatever I have to share is like फालतू for her, and my thing becomes that at least just be open to receiving or hearing me out on that, and like don't disregard it, right? So it's just those little dynamics that keep happening. But yeah, I feel happy about how I receive them internally. The external bit is something that keeps shifting sometimes.
Preeti, when I see you talking about it, I see you as very centered, which shows that you have literally worked on your mother wounds. So that is a good thing. Now, what you can do to create those boundaries, even in external life, is one, work on your expectation with your mother. This is where you need that internal work, that you expect her to hear you out, to understand you, right? So this is one area which you need to work upon. And that is quite evident in your case because with both set of your parents, whether your mother and your father, there is a break in bond, right? They have lost one parent. So this is where you have to work on your internal landscape. And with regards to creating external boundaries, you can build it energetically as well. So what you can do is, this is one exercise we often tell them, that you can create a circle. You can create a circle by a newspaper or by a thread. And in one circle, you create two circles, okay? In one circle, you sit, okay? And in the other circle, let your mother sit, okay? And then have a conversation. That, Mom, I take your love, but this boundary is there to just take your love and not all the forms of love which you are giving to, right? And as you keep on practicing this, creating this energetic boundary, maybe after some time, if you do it consistently, you will be able to set those boundaries without any expectation. Because boundary
Set
also
those
has
boundaries without any expectations. Sorry,
expectations
what?
from her, without any expectations from her as well. Because setting boundaries is not an external thing; it is again an internal thing. So if you are trying to set boundaries externally, while some part of you is willing or is waiting for her acceptance and appreciation, it is not going to work that. You have to also build the boundaries energetically, internally with love, not without love. You're not creating a distance. You are just choosing the love and not the forms of love, the various forms of love which she gives. So when you will do it energetically, I guess things will start shifting.
Absolutely. Like I hear you. Allow me to reflect on this a little
Yeah.
because I believe that there is something to this that needs to be tapped
Yeah.
into and unlocked a little more, which
Yes,
I'm
there
sure
is.
will come now that you've just shared this perspective. It's not exactly maybe like what I'm understanding right now, but I'm sure there's more to it, and I will
Yeah.
allow that to
There will
unfold
be.
inside of
There
me.
will be more to it because there is multiple breaking bonds with both sides of parents. Like when your mom lost her mother, she basically lost everything. That even though her survival was taken care of, her emotional needs were not taken. So the thing that I'm not hurt maybe is belonging to her child, inner child. Have you worked on that aspect?
Yes, I have. And like, everything that she's been sort of deprived of, and she had a little bit of a hard father as well, because my
Yeah.
Nana ji was in the services, yeah. So it was a lot of things, and she's also had her spaces, especially I came around working all of this, like her inner child more, because she had a lot of suppressed anger inside of her, right?
But then
And there
the
is
idea is
a
not to
greater.
work with her inner child. The idea is to work how your inner child is entangled with her. So if you have not worked on your
Yeah,
inner
the
child's
separation, like
entanglement,
not merging the two, right? Like
yeah,
out of that. Yes, I'm quite aware of that, and I've worked on that. That's quite true. And I think because of that, uh, I'm able to not like sort of react to it. Like I
yeah.
can understand that, okay, this is not mine, or this is what is really happening. Maybe while I'm talking and conveying, I might not be so clear in it. But when it comes to
We do not
situations,
hear to words, right? We hear the tone. And there is some
okay,
sort of panic here. And that is
okay,
what I want you to reflect upon. Okay.
okay.
So maybe there are certain layers which are uncovering now, or there could be a
Mm-hmm.
possibility that we need to visit the same layers again, but from a different
Okay,
angle. Okay. So I will just
absolutely.
suggest that, work on this part of seeking appreciation or hearing me out or seeking validation. This part
Mm.
of your inner child, this needs to be taken care of if you're working with someone. And at the same time, try to build energetic boundaries. First, see how it feels when you build this boundary energetically. Does it feel safe to you? That is a very big question. Because if it is not feeling safe to you, even though you're trying your best to create boundaries in your outer reality, these boundaries will not serve the purpose.
So you mean like while she's not around, but energetically just
Yes, in
create
your
it,
inner
right?
landscape, if
Yeah.
you feel like I have to create certain boundaries, then you have to do it, but with love. The boundaries are never meant to create a distance. Rather, it is meant
Right.
to maintain your emotional health at the same time receiving her love, allowing her to be your mother, but not giving her all the freedom to show her whatever forms of love she needs. You just take her love and not the forms of.
Got you on that one. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll reflect
welcome.
and work with that. Yeah.
Okay. Good night. Take care, everyone.
Thank
See you
you. Good night.
tomorrow.
Take care. Yep.
Yeah, bye. See you tomorrow.